everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Dan Haidt, and this is Flies in the Kitchen. So today I'm talking with Chris Shaw from Topher James and Biscuit Brigade, the Shaw Brothers, the Andy Shaw Band, and honestly, whatever else he puts his mind to. I first heard Chris playing violin with the Philip Fox Band, another guy you've heard here on the podcast, and thought he'd be a perfect fit for a few songs I was recording. I sent him the music, he wrote a part, and he came in and laid down like 4 tracks in no time, and it was awesome. Seriously, my music wouldn't have been complete without it. He added so much. Chris has been making music his whole life, writing songs, encouraging budding songwriters, and gradually evolving into the performer he has always wanted to be. He, his brother Andy, and their dad organize and facilitate the now twice a year Columbus Songwriting Workshop. We talk about that a lot, as well as Chris's own method of songwriting. It's really hard to put Chris into a box, although that is kind of an ironic statement, as you will understand later in the conversation. But Chris has written and performed in many different styles, from the acoustic folk duo with his brother playing drums in Andy's band, and to a much more rhythm and blues vibe with Topher James and Biscuit Brigade. Check out this episode's page at danhaidt.com in the podcast tab to find out more about what Chris is up to, as well as info about the songwriting workshop. Okay, so I'm really excited to share this conversation with you, so let's get right to it. To kick it off, here's Chris and Andy's Nothing's Fair at 17 from their self-titled 2011 Shaw Brothers album.
Never learned to compromise, 'cause who I am won't let me sacrifice. She told me once that I could be, anything at all. But I never knew I had so much to lose. And I loved her more than I can say. And it's a shame it's not today. Give me all that I deserve. We talk for hours and love for more. Wished we couldn't grow old and cold, but nothing's fair at 17. I'm just a stranger to this world. Ooh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Okay, so what shall I call you? Chris Shaw, Topher James?
Chris Shaw's fine, yeah.
As I want to talk about that, because you've got a kind of an alter ego that you've developed over the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, your first Topher James EP in 2014, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to hold that there, and back up a little bit. So because of your songwriters workshop, Columbus Songwriters Workshop, which is, does that happen twice a year now?
Songwriting workshop.
Or songwriting workshop.
I know, it's stupid.
Thank you so much.
But it's similar. It's too similar to Columbus Songwriters Association. That's why it's
I see.
Way too confusing.
Yeah, well, that's okay. But you have, so the songwriting workshop, is that happening twice a year now?
Yeah, twice a year now. Yeah.
Because I know you just had it last weekend. But March, right?
Yep.
When it's
March 24th.
Uh-huh.
And we're trying to do we're trying to do more than that, but it's, it's just making the machine work. So unfortunately it is a business. So you're like trying to make sure people get there and promote and all that stuff. And if you do too many things, it's just like, what's happening? So it's like, all right, twice a year. And then it's like, but then we find when people come, they're like, we want more of this. So it's like, well,
right.
Come to the workshop first, and then we can do more stuff. And we are going to do more stuff.
So that's with
soon.
You and your brother and your dad put that on, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how long has that been going on?
We've done it like, I think 8 times, but it's not been that organized. I mean, I feel like we've done it really about 4 times, just because it's now to a place where it feels like a thing.
Well, yeah, the last one sounded like it had a lot of really great names, teaching. And I was looking through some of the classes that you had going on. One was Billy Zen had the open mic class, and I think that's awesome. When people are just getting into it, like I remember when I was just starting to write, that was my sanctuary, were open mics everywhere. Yeah. And I was just recently at the one out in Westerville at Java Central. And there was a kid there, a high school kid playing, and first time in front of a group, and it was the most receptive and loving group I've ever been around, and everybody, and he was great. That's awesome. He was really great, and how encouraging is that? Yeah. What was Billy Zen's take on that?
I mean, just all the basics, really. Some of the people we get are really beginners, kind of like that. We had one high school girl, and she had never performed in front of anybody. Cool. So it was great, and I want to get, my goal is to get the kind of like the semi-pros that we're wanting to jump to the next level, which is cool. We have some of those too. Right. But because, that's where I relate most to those people. Like, okay, I was you not too long ago. Now I want to help you jump to the next level. But then there's people that are like, I've never written a song. But a lot of the people that we got this time were, they were writing, and it was good. So Billy kind of goes through, I think, the whole gamut, but write a set list, don't bring a music stand, here's some mic techniques. He had a mic and everything. It was just real practical. That's what I like.
So has your family always been just a real musical family then?
Yeah. My dad's a music teacher. So he taught me music when I was in kindergarten.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he used to teach at a Catholic school, Holy Spirit in Whitehall. And I went there for kindergarten, and my brother and sister went there, and then we ended up moving to Gahanna schools, public school. But so yeah, he taught me when I was in kindergarten, and then he's always taught through college, kindergarten through college. His last, I think, 10 years were, maybe even 20, 30 years were more mainly K through 3 and K through 5. Okay. So kindergarten through 5th.
What'd you learn first?
Instrumentally? I learned violin. My dad really didn't teach us much as far as he didn't force anything upon us, and he didn't really teach us lessons or anything. But it was always around, and then I think it was natural. I was like, oh yeah, I want to do it. He didn't say go play violin. I was just like, okay. Yeah. So we did that in school, and then I played drums when I was 12, so I was always banging on stuff. So my parents they put me in the right direction. It was smart. They were like, here, take lessons. Yeah. Stop banging on the table. Yeah. It was great. And my brother played trumpet and viola and violin. And then, oh, wow. So then he played trumpet all the way through high school. I played drums and violin. And then I did guitar, probably when I was 18. So catching up. I'm still catching up on that.
That's about when I started getting serious.
Yeah.
I was about 16, 18 years old.
I think it's a good age.
On guitar, yeah.
You got a lot of angst.
Yeah, right.
Got a lot of stuff to say, right?
Well, yeah, I played a lot of Pink Floyd and
nice.
Yeah. So you and your brother have always been making music together then?
Yeah. Well, kind of. I mean, he went to college in Chicago. So I'm 3 years younger, so you kind of lose a lot of time when you're young. So we didn't do much, and then he went to college. He'd be 18, didn't come back till he was 23 or whatever. Yeah. So then I would have been in college, So once he came back, I was still in college, and then we started playing.
Nice.
So really not till later.
And where'd you go to school?
I went to the art college, CCAD, downtown. And then he went to an art college in Chicago. So then I was doing a band in my high school. My high school band I had like a rock band that I played drums in. So I was still playing in that while I went to college. And then we broke up because everybody like left basically. And then my brother, I picked up right there. My brother came in and then I started gigging with him.
Yeah. Was the Shaw Brothers or Andy Shaw band first?
It was kind of like the Shaw Brothers. I would play like djembe, he'd play acoustic guitar. And then I don't think I ever played violin with him. And then I started playing drums. And then we did the Andy Shaw band. My dad came in, brought keys, bass player. Then we went back to the Shaw Brothers because we were like, well, why don't we play violin and guitar?
Yeah. Okay.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So we didn't do it first.
Well, then I saw you in the second coming of the Shaw Brothers then, because I think I saw the two of you play for the first time at, I think it was Camelot Cellars.
Oh, really? What about the North Market? Because I remember seeing you there.
Oh, wait.
Or maybe it was that reversed.
I did see you at Camelot, and because I was there for, what was I there for? I don't know, but yeah, I think I did see you guys at North Market.
Okay,
and that was.
I remember running into you there a lot.
That was a time, you know.
Oh man, they had so much music there, and now like I feel like they don't have it all.
They don't have a lot much,
or it's like volunteers.
It's not. Well, it's through the Greater Columbus Arts Council these days, which is and I played there recently, but it wasn't like when there was something every weekend all the time.
There was so many people too.
Yeah, so you had the Andy Shaw and the Shaw Brothers kind of got some traction. What led you to start up with Topher James and Biscuit Brigade?
Oh man. Well, I was doing the Andy Shaw band, Shaw Brothers. And then I was doing Matt Monta's band because he had the Hot Coal band, which he kind of disbanded and reinvented in another way. You know, the Haymakers is his band now. So I was playing fiddle in that and kind of mandolin. And then it was like kind of this, and then it kind of fizzled quickly for various reasons. Because my brother, like, he ended up quitting because he was playing too. He was playing bass in Matt Monta's band. Did you ever see that?
I don't think I ever did.
Yeah, so it was like, you know, drums. Pete Vogel was playing drums. Andy on bass, me on fiddle, and then Bree Frick was playing cello. And then that like kind of quickly fizzled, and then actually no, it was like one member dropped off at a time. So Andy quit, and then I was like, I gotta go, because that was about the time where I was like, I want to concentrate on my own music. And I feel like that was like way before the band even started. But it was kind of like that was when I started like, all right, I got to get these songs going. So I recorded like a little EP.
So you had already written these songs, and they were just kind of in a folder someplace waiting to be recorded?
I don't know. It's kind of fuzzy, but I was recording some stuff on my own with like Jay Alton, just me playing all the instruments, and Jay played like some bass, I think. But they were like more folky, kind of full band folk rock thing. And then I started writing. I got some inspiration from like Jack White and all these people that were kind of saying like, you should write. Not you should, but it just came to me like write in kind of a box, right? So put your music, put your art in a constrained box, and then write within that box. So whatever happens, it has to be kind of in this box, which sounds counterintuitive because you're like, well, I want to be creative, but it led me to be really focused. So I said, well, let me write like in a soul box, like a box of R&B, soul. And then I have little things that I want to put in there. So like ingredients, like, it's going to sound a little bit retro. It's going to be this, beat focus. It's going to be like, you know what I mean? Just like different elements. from all the things that I liked. And so I would say it took me maybe 2 or 3 years to really get that project going. So I think 2014 was the first time I wrote. I had it on my iTunes, like I had recorded it, and I wrote like a title on it, New Home, one of my songs that was on my first EP. But that was 14 was the actual EP, so it was like 2010 or something. It took me forever to get those songs out.
Yeah. We're not in a studio.
Right. So I think it was 2010. It was like I remember it being like 3 or 4 years before that actually came out at all.
Okay.
So yeah, it took me a while. I think it was 2010, if that timeline makes any sense. So anyway, I started writing in this box of like soul, and then I started kind of like, the first record I did was like anyone who could come, like a studio band. That's kind of what I did. I started with the record. I didn't start with the band. Then I built backwards from that. And said, hey, learn these tunes. They're already recorded.
Okay.
So then anyone I got, it didn't really matter because all the stuff was recorded. That make sense?
Yeah. No, it does. It's very, I'm wrapping my brain around it.
It was very methodical.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're like hitting the ground running. So the first gig I had CDs.
Okay.
Instead of like, you're a band, we should record.
Yeah,
you know? It's like, it didn't make any sense to me.
Okay.
Because I'd done that.
And you did all the instruments then?
No. Not on this record.
Not on that one.
So I did this little EP, this folky EP, but that was just like nothing. That barely even saw the light of the day.
Okay.
That's just, I put it on SoundCloud like a year ago.
Okay.
It was just like these recordings. And then I kind of grew up, whatever. Then I got focused, and I'm like, I'm going to do R&B soul. So then that's what the first record is, and that's basically a hired band. So Jeff Bass was the bass player, Justin Gamble was the drummer, Dan Shaw, who's playing with the Works now, played keyboards, Chalisha Holmes, Abby Dorn were the singers, and Dan White, who's like gone to New York and done tons of crazy stuff now, he played sax on there. So yeah.
Okay.
And then I reverse engineered it and had to restart and do a whole entire new band. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
It was good and bad.
Yeah. Okay. So we're looking at if that was 2010, that was pre-songwriting workshop. Or was that just around the time
Might have been a similar time.
The dawn of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to...
so 8 years ago.
Yeah, 8 years ago. So I'd love to know more about how this songwriting workshop just came to be, how it started.
Well, Andy and I went to a bunch of workshops. One of them was this song school in Colorado. Have you heard of it? It's really cool.
No.
So you go for like 4 days and you camp, and there's song circles at night. Everybody eats together. I mean, it's amazing. And then all day is workshops. So they have these like, it's outside right by the mountains. It's crazy. And there's tents that are just set up in the middle of this. It's literally like a compound. It's called Planet Bluegrass.
Nice.
And they have a giant stage, and they have another, like a smaller stage. They have a festival there, Rocky Mountain Bluegrass Festival. And then I can't remember it's basically the song school, which is like 4 days. And then they have like Brandi Carlile, Amos Lee, like all these famous people play at the end of it, which is like separate than the workshop, but it's like they tie it in with like the people that are playing also teach. So like Woody Guthrie's granddaughter, Sarah Lee Guthrie, was there. I got to meet her and like drink wine with her. It was crazy. And all these people, like some of the people that are headlining, they teach the workshop. And then some of the people that go to the workshop have opportunity to play the festival. It's really cool. It's a great idea.
Nice.
So we were like, it was a different workshop for us. We had never really done it. There's all kinds of stuff. Pat Pattison, that was like, famous for like being John Mayer's teacher, I think, at Berkeley. What's the other guy's name? Steve Seskin, I think. Amy Spees, all these like really famous kind of folk guys. But I didn't know most of them. Daryl Scott, who played in Robert Plant's band.
Oh.
I mean, crazy guys.
Yeah.
But they're all like these songwriters, and I'm like, who are all these people? Sarah Lee Guthrie. I mean, you've heard of Woody Guthrie.
Sure.
But they're all famous in their own right. It's like the level you want to be, which is like really good, really successful, but not well known.
Right.
But anyway, so we went to this workshop. It was really cool, and we did it twice, 2 years in a row, and then we came back and we're like, we want to do something like that here. That was basically it.
Wow.
And we did some like Folk Alliance stuff too. So we've kind of like gathered the information and all that we had found out there, and we were like, well, let's do it and put our own twist on it. Yeah.
So you came back from Colorado, decided you wanted to start doing this thing, and did you enlist help from your dad? Did you talk about how should we do this? What's the best way to do it? Or is that just you and Andy just kind of?
I think it might have been us too, and then we brought him in because he's been an educator for 35 years or whatever, 40 years, I can't remember. And he had some hookups with some facilities, so we had used that the first couple of years, and then we moved to the McConnell Art Center, and then we moved to the Jazz Academy downtown. So we're kind of we move around. But
nice. So are you still writing in that put it in a box and work it around and yeah, that's your style?
Yeah, I kind of realized that all the stuff I liked when I was growing up was soul music, but it never was like directly that. It was kind of like offshoots of it, So like ingredients that I liked, I then found later like, oh, that's why I like it. Like once I heard like Stevie Wonder or, I was like, oh, okay, this is what I've always liked, but I wasn't really, I grew up in the suburbs. Nobody was kind of like, hey, here's Donny Hathaway,
Yeah.
I didn't know who that was. So now I'm like, okay, this is what I always liked.
Yeah.
Or I just like it now. I don't know. But
so you decided then. So Art and Soul, the first EP that came from Topher James, was that done in reverse as well, or did you have the band?
No, that's what I was talking about.
That was the first one then. Okay, so that one was the one that you did in reverse.
Yep, and then 8-Bit Soul was the second one.
8-Bit was the second one with the band.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, really the way it came about was that reverse engineering thing. But, and so then once I had that, it was like a template. So then I could run off that template. But the problem with doing that is that you don't have a band. So I'm the only one that's really dedicated to the project. So, that's what I did. And then I kind of found out quickly, like, okay, now I got to like find people all the time to help me. So that's why I call it Biscuit Brigade, because it's like an army of people.
Yeah.
So like after that record, Jeff Bass was like a really busy bass player, so he wasn't on. Anybody I could get from that recording, I wanted to be in my band, right? So Dan Shaw was in my band. He played keyboards. And like 3 gigs in, he's like, oh, I'm going on tour with The Works, and has not been back to Columbus since. Literally, he's like, bye.
Oh, wow.
I was like, and it was like, I'm going tomorrow, bye. I'm like, oh, come on. And at that point, we had done some shows with like, who was playing bass? I don't even know. Jeez. Nathan Smith. He plays with Derek DeCenzo, all these people. And he was great. So I had Nate for a while, and then this guy, Ryan Jesse, out of Chillicothe. And then Ryan kind of fell off, and Kyra Currington, who is Talisha, one of my backup singers' girlfriend, she came in. She played drums. And she's like a gospel drummer, really great drummer, R&B drummer. So it was like us, it was like Nate, Kyra, Talisha, who was on the record, and Abby, who was on the record. And we were kind of the band, and then, keyboard players were kind of there and not there. It was, so, you travel, you have a train, you chug it along, and you're like, all right, that car broke off, let's get this one, And I just kept booking gigs, and can you do it? Can you do it?
Somewhere I read in a bio someplace, you write about songwriting through the soul lens.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
What's that mean?
Yeah, I mean, just trying to put that perspective on it and pay homage, really, to soul music, to classic soul, to modern R&B.
So soul music, it's not like your internal soul.
No. I'm talking about soul music.
The soul music lens.
Yeah, the soul music lens. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's a better way to put it.
No, that's fine. No, it's it's really impressive that you can go from like Andy Shaw Band and Shaw Brothers, where it's very folk, acoustic, djembes and fiddles and things, and then make that switch that way.
Yeah.
Is it hard to go back and forth?
I like, now that I've kind of done the writing, done it for a while, I write in those styles. I try to write in folk style. I try to write in R&B, soul. But I think all of it kind of comes, I don't know. I think it comes through in both. I don't know. I like to think they're different. But you have to be authentic, You have to try to be yourself. So before I never wrote in any style. I just wrote. But it helps me be focused. I think the older you get, the less genuine you are. Because, the first stuff you write is just, you.
Yeah. And
then when you're older, you start to kind of listen and, okay, what am I going to, which I like. I enjoy it. So it's not super hard. It is hard to write Shaw Brothers. That's kind of my box I write in, my Shaw Brothers box. It's harder for me to write there because a lot of the music now I listen to is more soul and R&B based. But, Shaw Brothers has always had that kind of, I think, soulfulness to it. So, I don't know if that answers the question.
No, sure.
It's not straight, country. It's not straight bluegrass.
No,
you know
what
I mean? It's like somebody called it soulgrass one time, which I thought was cool.
Oh.
It's kind of like, it's got the twanginess, but we're not like, I'm driving my truck,
Sure. So of all the songwriting workshops, what are the things that you pull the most from out of those?
Man. Well, what we try to do for our workshop is bring people's different perspectives to the table. So we're not trying to be, a lot of workshops I feel like feel like they have this answer, like how to write a song. We don't want to do that. Ours is, and the song school I think was the closest to what we're doing, which was like, some people would come with like a syllabus, and a book and a published thing. Yeah. And then some people would be like, I don't know. You do it,
Yeah.
So the thing I didn't like about that was it was like almost two all over the place. You would go to one class. It was cool because you'd go to a class and you'd be like, this is how you do it. And then you go to the next one, they'd be like, that ain't how you do it.
Yeah, right.
And then people would be asking in the audience, well, that guy said
Yeah.
And they'd be like, well, this is, it's not us, it's about you.
Yeah.
So we're trying to kind of like we're saying here we're facilitators. We're facilitating this.
Yeah.
We're going to take Billy. We're going to take this guy, Stefan T1. He's an artist in Columbus. He's great. And we hadn't even really worked with him before.
Yeah. It was about great. Excellence on and off the stage.
Yeah.
What was that about?
It was great. He had a whole presentation and it ended up being too long for the thing, but it was great. It was really in depth. He just kind of went through his perspective. It was like, this is how I do things. It was actually very similar to what my kind of Topher James was. Everything was kind of calculated. He's more of a performer than he's not a folk songwriter or anything. He's a performer. He does primarily more like soul, but I think he infuses rock, but he's real emotional and he's really like spiritual, and it's kind of a whole thing. And it's really cool. So, but he was real methodical about everything. When I go to the gig, I have this clothes on, and I drink this kind of tea, and I do this. It's cool. So, like, we want to put those people on kind of a platform and say, here, kind of tell people your perspective. And I like it because it's not saying, like, this is how you do it. It's like, here's where I'm coming from. And it ends up being really educational.
Well, I've followed. I've not been to any, obviously, but I followed the discussions about them. And I remember one year there was a class on rap.
Yeah.
And who led that? Do you remember?
Eric Rollin.
Yeah.
He goes by E-Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in a band, Mr. Anderson.
Oh, okay.
They're like a live hip hop band.
Yeah. I thought that was great. So much in terms of songwriting, people think that there's when you go to a song, like when you went to Colorado, there probably wasn't anything about rap in Colorado. No. You know what I mean? I love that the variety of writing styles, because I love so many different kinds of writing.
Yeah.
When I hear a really good rapper, I mean, my gosh.
To me, that's the purest songwriter.
Mm-hmm. it's just
because it lives without any. Not saying without music.
Right. But it's this pure rhythm and pure
words.
Yeah, pure words.
It's poetry.
The words are the instruments.
Yeah,
yeah, in a sense, and the poetry for sure. And it's it's authentic and it's real and it's
right.
It's not trying to fit a style or a pattern.
Yeah, and I think like all these workshops always talk about the purest songwriting should work in all these different ways, and it's like, hip hop works without any music to it. So obviously songwriting is both. It's melody, but I think it's one of the most purest forms.
Yeah,
because it's got to stand on its own. Guys on the street like doing like a cipher where they're all just it's like a jam session, but there's no instruments.
Right.
It's just a guy with a beat, like beatboxing, and that's cool to me. And freestyling, that's like a whole nother art. But yeah, I like that, and it involves other people. Culture is like you can learn from that and infuse it into your own music. Eric had a class where he had everybody write a rap. It was kind of funny.
Yeah,
no, that people were rappers.
Right.
But
it's you get out of your comfort zone and you try something new.
Yeah,
that's what. And speaking of comfort zone and trying something new, I saw one of the classes was about co-writing, and talk about out of my comfort zone.
Yeah,
I just don't I don't know how to do that.
Ooh,
I've always been interested in doing it, but I just don't know how to do it.
Yeah,
what was the secret?
Yeah, right. I think Doc Robinson, John and Nick were great because they've been friends for a long time, and they have luckily for them they have a rapport.
Right.
So their collaboration was just, it made sense. But I liked it. They did a really good class. Like I said, we don't like screen these classes before we do them. We kind of just let them go. So but it comes together, and they were really, really good. They were really articulate about it, and they talked a lot about teamwork and putting your ego out of it when you get there, which is cool because I've co-written a lot. I did a duets album in 2010, and I co-wrote with 10 people I'd never written with.
Wow.
And I was like, let's put an album together. That was predecessor to this record, and it helped a lot.
How was that?
It was crazy.
10 different personalities and 10 different styles.
It was weird, yeah. It was hard because I learned a lot, yeah. Just how are these people working? And you find that people are, they get really attached to what they're doing, and they're like, no, this has to be like this.
Right.
And you're like, well, it doesn't though. And that was one of the classes, one of the things in their class that they were saying was like, no pretense. When you get in that room, you can't be egotistical at all. And it's the right way to do it, because you have to, the song is the winner is what he was saying. Like, okay. That's the winner. Like none of you are the winner. The song is the winner. That's the goal. So,
wow.
And they talked a lot about like, you'll kind of know when things are good because either you'll like it or not like it, or they'll, you got two people. So it's like, well, I don't like it. Well, neither do I. Or like, I like it. Well, I like it too. It's like,
yeah,
it's cool.
My biggest fear in co-writing has always been letting go of my own expectations.
Yeah, it's hard.
'Cause I don't know. I don't even know what my songwriting style is.
Right.
But I know that a lot of it just kind of comes and happens.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a, I don't know, out of body kind of thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes, in a sense, the way that tunes and lyrics and things come to me,
Yeah.
you don't really know where they're coming from.
Right.
To put that trust in somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or for them to put that trust in me
Mm-hmm.
is intimidating.
Yeah, I think so. And I think then you can get, analyze your process and how you do it. And then it's like, well, is that the same when I get with somebody else, or is it going to be something completely different?
Well, yeah, when you did with 10 different writers
Yeah.
who come from completely different.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a journey for sure.
So let me ask you a little bit about the recording. So you've got you had the Art and Soul, the first EP that you put out. Is that the one you said you just recently put up on SoundCloud?
No, Art and Soul was a full.
That
release.
was a full release.
Yeah.
You were. I was confused because there was something. Maybe that was back in 2010 or something.
Yeah, it was a while ago. I just that was my first kind of going out into my own and doing my own songs and recording them for like real in the studio.
Okay.
I had always done it at home, like on my garage band, like I was talking about.
Right.
I even had a 4-track when I was, starting out, just recording, and I had all these things, but I never really done much with them. Shaw Brothers was like the first opportunity to start actually performing them live.
Okay.
And then...
So that actually came before, because that was what, 2012?
Something like that.
The Shaw Brothers LP?
I think it was 2012, 2011.
Yeah.
So even before that, I think... No, maybe it was after that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, the Shaw Brothers was like the first opportunity for me to play my own songs out live. And then I was like, well, I want to put them in a band setting. So I think that's what happened was like, we did that album, and then I did like my own little album, or it was like a little bit before the Shaw Brothers album. I can't remember.
Are there some Andy Shaw Band recordings too then?
Yeah, for sure. But talking about my own songwriting, because Andy Shaw Band is... the reason why it's called that is because it's all his songs.
It's all Andy's songs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just kind of play my own drums to it, but I put my own spin on them. But most of that is him driving the ship.
Okay.
But he lets me pretty much do what I want.
Yeah. How's that dynamic?
It's weird.
Were you guys playful kids together? Did you?
We fought a lot.
Did you?
Yeah, we weren't playful. I mean, you have your moments.
Yeah.
But so we fought a lot. But I mean, this is cool because we now work together really well.
Yeah.
And it took us a while, but it forced us to get along. It really did. And we did not get along, even working together. It was.
And your sister too, right?
I have an older sister, but she doesn't play music.
Oh, she doesn't play music. Okay. What's she do?
Sign language interpreting.
Oh,
it's like the opposite world, all silent.
All right. Yeah, it is all silent.
Yeah. But she's in DC. Yeah. So she interprets from there.
Oh, that's
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And your dad still teaches?
He's out. He's teaching now at Ashland. He's teaching at Ashland now.
Yeah.
The college, and yeah.
What's he teaching there?
I think he's teaching like music for non-music majors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like an
appreciation class.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And he's taught all kinds of stuff, but that's like where he is right now. He taught at a middle school a couple years ago in Reynoldsburg. That was like his post-retirement job.
Oh, okay.
So he was like kind of like almost like an adjunct. They came in and taught like after school, I think, and then he's doing this now. Yeah, he'll never stop working. I mean, we're all kind of like that.
Yeah. What about your mom?
She's a librarian. So
oh yeah,
another quiet job.
My mom was a librarian.
Oh, nice. Yeah. She retired too, so they're both retired now.
Nice.
But my dad works and my mom doesn't work. I mean, she's living the grandma life right now.
Yeah.
Both of them are doing great. I have a 3-year-old, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how's that going for you?
It's awesome. Yeah. I was like, we probably should go to your house because it's gonna be loud. Loud, or a fit will be happening upstairs.
Oh yeah.
Trying to put him to bed about this time. So.
Yeah. Well, that's all cool.
Yeah.
So finally, I just want to round it out because you're also big into graphic design, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you designed all your. I know you designed your Columbus Songwriting Workshop materials and all of that. What are you working on?
My sister is an interpreter, and she, like I said, has a book, sign language dictionary. It's a lot. So she did like a dissertation for her doctorate. She has a doctorate in sociolinguistics, I think, if that's right. I don't know exactly the project, but I know what I have to do.
Yeah.
It's basically, with my understanding, it's the relationship between hearing people and deaf people and how they use gestures in real life situations.
Oh, okay.
And then comparing that with like the actual sign language. So gestures are like, hey, I'm doing this, and then sign language is like there's actual language to it. So she's comparing the two groups of people. And deaf people, when they're doing this, they do this. And then hearing people, I think. So I have to take these screenshots of a video of people signing and then like trace over them and like basically digitize them.
Oh, okay.
Make them into like illustrations for a dictionary.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's a dictionary. I don't know. I'm really bad at describing it. It's bad. I'm working on the project. But so I'm doing that right now. It's more like illustration work, but I do all the logos for the Songwriting Workshop and Andy Shaw Band and Shaw Brothers and Topher James. So all that stuff is my direction and design. So
yeah.
it's fun.
And what do you have coming up for Topher James?
That's a good question. We really just finished off a ton of busy. We played like 10 times in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a lot for my band because I'm playing solo shows, duo shows, Andy Shaw Band shows.
Yeah.
So I think we're done for now. I'm going to try to do something, hopefully, in the next coming months to do like another recording. I'm working on the third EP right now, and I'm trying to do something kind of different for the next one. So it might be like we're talking about doing like a live recording session where we would have people come and watch. I don't know. I'm formulating that idea right now.
Yeah.
I just want to do stuff that's different and try to involve people in it. And, I feel like you have to do different stuff now. You can't just do a show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now that I'm older, whatever that means, I feel like people are like, they have some money, they can come to like a special event, rather than like it's $5 at a bar. People don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to that.
Yeah.
It'll be like an event with like food and maybe even family friendly, So that's the next thing. I don't know when that's happening though. And then we're doing the Florida tour.
Florida.
Andy Shaw Band, yeah.
When is that?
November, like next week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So we go for like 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So we're doing that like every couple of months. We're going to try to go down there.
Okay.
And that's a whole other box.
Yeah.
It's busy.
Well, man, that's exhausting.
just hearing it. Yeah.
Just hearing what you got going on, man. You've got, let's see, I've counted 4 different projects going on.
Yeah.
So you'll be down there through just about Thanksgiving, and then back, and then holidays, and then you'll be getting ready for a songwriting workshop in March.
Right.
Who do you have on tap?
Megan Palmer. She's in Nashville now, and that's actually the only person we have so far.
Okay.
So yeah, she's going to be kind of like the headliner, whatever that means.
What's she going to be talking about?
I don't know yet. She just recently, she had cancer and all this stuff. And she's doing, I knew she did some like songs, some kind of healing songs. She was on one of the Songs of the Center episodes doing that.
Oh, cool.
So I don't know. Like I said, we kind of give them the reins. So, hey, do what you want to do. And it's cool because they come, they come with intention at that point. It's not like, do this. So I don't know. I don't know what she's going to do yet. But she's agreed to do it. Yeah. I know that.
Are you or any of your family teaching anything?
Well, we've kind of become, like I said, the facilitators. And I feel like our role now is like the inspirational role.
Okay.
All right, you can do it.
Yeah.
And so we do a class every time. We usually do a class every time at that, and it's like the last class. Like, here's kind of our final thoughts. So I don't know. I'm still it's evolving. It might just become not a class and just like the last outro of the thing. But every class is like 45 to 50 minutes. Mm-hmm. But yeah. I don't know if we need that much time.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear us talk. Yeah.
Well,
let me know if you ever want to do it.
yeah. Well, that'd be great. I'd love to come and be a part of it for sure and participate and learn something. I'm curious what your, where you see your songwriting going at this point, because you've kind of evolved up into this space and now you're kind of looking at, through the soul lens and do you think that, I don't know, what do you see happening in for your next, musical chapter in your writing?
Well, with Topher James, everything's intentional. So I try to outline everything before I do it. So the first one was like this kind of raw thing, but not really, but kind of retro, kind of this thing. The next one was really just a lot of the leftover tunes that were still in that family that I didn't have time to record. And then the one that we're doing right now is an evolution of that.
Yeah.
Kind of an evolution of the same. And then I feel like after that will be more production, more modern, like beat-based production. So it won't be as live.
Yeah.
So it'll be more, I call it modern R&B because most modern R&B is beat-based. Like the drums you're hearing is not a drummer. It's a drum machine. So that it's almost similar to hip-hop in that way.
Okay. But
it doesn't mean every R&B record is fake drums. But that's kind of where I want to go. I don't want to be like a retro, you know what I mean?
Sure.
A Motown review. I want to be like an original, relevant R&B and soul artist. So
right.
The people I like are generally mixing both of them. They're mixing beat-based production and live drums. So in that way, I'm very calculated about it. But I want to be relevant. There's a guy named Daley, D-A-L-E-Y. He's a British soul singer. He's actually in town tomorrow. I'm going to go see him.
Cool.
So he has a live band, but a lot of his production is beat-based, but it's kind of this vintage, like modern thing. It's really cool.
Yeah. So
you can hear stuff that pays homage to classic soul, but it's like really modern sounding. That's where I want to go.
Nice.
If you listen to his record, you'll know kind of where I want to go.
Okay.
But it's not only that, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So.
Well, Topher James Shaw.
Yes.
Thanks for talking to me, man.
Thanks, man.
I appreciate
this is awesome.
it. Yeah, and I can't wait to hear the next chapter of your process, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Thanks a lot.
Sometimes we see it, most times we don't. The simple concept that we're not alone. I wish there was a way to find a brand new start, but I know that I'm just dreaming. Sometimes we feel it, most times we don't. The way they use the flag to blind us. And as the politicians dine on silver plates, I hear a soldier's mother crying. Sometimes I think the world is broken, and I don't feel like we know it. Sometimes I think this world is broken, and I don't feel like we know it.
Right? A far cry from folk violin, isn't it? Well, what a beautifully complex individual that Chris Shaw. I loved hearing about how his brain works. I'm still wrapping mine around the soul lens he's talking about and his box he fits everything into. Which again, I can't seem to fit him into one, but what do I know? In any case, I hope you liked it, and I hope you've subscribed by now to get new episodes as they drop, nice and toasty from the server. Find me anywhere you listen to podcasts, and be sure and leave me a review if you don't mind. It really does help with visibility. Also, be sure and connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at FITKPod. Hey, thanks again, everybody, for listening, and let's go make some stories.